Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Quick one, second one of the week. We'll see how tomorrow goes. Maybe we'll sneak a third episode in. There's always stuff to talk about. It's been a crazy week with the releases. Contenders football's out. You got Topps Chrome out. There's all kinds of fun stuff coming out. And, I like to tell stories. I like to come on and give, what I'm thinking during the time I'm doing the episode. Doesn't make for the most evergreen content. Although I think this one is something you could probably come back on. I might even come back on it and check in a year or 2 or 3 when we're checking in on, what Fanatics looks like, what they're doing, in the hobby when they have all the licenses and all the fun stuff. I'm going to touch on the Topps Chrome release because Topps Chrome Baseball was released yesterday. And before he's going to talk about baseball, just stick with me for a minute, right? Because I'm going to talk about my opening, my conversation with my son, and kind of go into what I think I see going on with the hobby. And, you may like what's going on. I may like what's going on. We'll see. We'll kind of try to, go through it as we as we go. And I'll try to keep it short. I'll give you guys 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. But Topps Chrome Baseball came out yesterday. I usually do a Friday opening with my son. And I'll probably find something to open with him on Friday as well. But, release day was Wednesday. My hobby store got some for me. I pre-order it. And I bought 2 hobby boxes. And I bought 4 blasters. Nice assortment, right? I was going to open 2 blasters and a hobby box yesterday and then save 2, holy us. I opened one of the hobby boxes and, maybe the Friday opening tomorrow we'll open the other one. But we opened all the blasters. We opened all 4 of the blasters. I wasn't going to open them all. We were only going to open 2. But anyway, it is what it is. Wanted to open it for opening day, open it. It's All-Star break. My son and I watched the home run derby and, baseball is top of mind. We watched this stuff and, my son is 11 now. And when we started doing opening, he was actually 6 when we started back in 2020. He hadn't turned 7 yet. It was, COVID started up February, March of 2020. And I said, you know what, if we're going to be stuck here, I'm going to find a way to get cards every Friday and we're going to open something, open a box. And we've done it every Friday now for, 4.5 years. And, little trait, but I love doing it because to me, that's the hobby, right? To me, opening with a friend or opening the packs yourself or opening with your son, daughter, whatever it is, I open cards with my dad, with my brother, and I have memories of that. I don't have memories of the cards that I pulled. I mean, I do for some of the big ones, but it wasn't about that. It was about something to do, right? It was about something that you have a shared memory, shared fun, shared excitement, shared hobby with your family. And, my dad's no longer here, but I remember cards with him as, it's something I look back on very fondly, which is why I continue to do this now, and why I don't get paid to talk, but still come out and chat with you guys and have a blast doing it. And if I could, I would do 2 episodes a day because there's just that much to talk about. But I love opening cards with my son. We'll go through the stuff. I can see the change in him from when we started to now. And, part of it, I believe, is he's got a phone now. When he was 6, he didn't have an iPhone. And he has Instagram, and he is actually on it and watching videos. So anyway, we open our box, right? We open our box. And we opened the blasters and got literally nothing. Like pink cards of nobody, no real number cards, no nothing, which is fine. I mean, all in, my purchase of 2 hobby boxes and blasters was just over $500. So I'm not going to get killed. And aside, before we get to my breaks with him, let's talk for a second about hobby shops and Fanatics. It's an interesting thing, right? I would imagine that there's still money to be made here, but you have to be doing significant volume. This is a push and pull that is going to continue to go on. It's why Fanatics came into the space to kind of squeeze margin. The hobby shops are not going to be making the money that they made, especially not on a product like this. But I paid, no complaints here, $185 a box, pre-ordered the whole deal, right? And obviously my LCS was able to make a little bit of money on it. He wasn't killing me on it the whole deal, but he can't really charge much more than that because I looked, and yesterday on Fanatics website, $199 for a box. So there's a ceiling of how much they can charge based on what Fanatics is charging themselves. If you're an LCS, I guess it's keeping you honest. I guess it's capping your upside. And if you don't get the Blaze type of volume of hundreds of thousands of cases, right, then maybe you're a little bitter about it. Maybe you're a little sour about it because you can't really upcharge. Because people are going to be like, why would I buy from you? I can just buy. So on a consumer side, I think it's a good thing, right? You can look very easily what it is available for, public sale right there on Fanatics, and you can buy it from them. And, I'm sure if my LCS was at $225 a box, people would come in and say, why would I buy this from you? It's $199 right there on Fanatics, right? Direct. So that's an interesting thing. That's going to continue, like dynamic pricing. That's going to continue to have an impact. I'm curious to see when they come out with these boxes now of like the Bowman U versions of Topps Chrome football and baseball that come out soon. I'm curious to see what the pricing is going to be on those. It'll be interesting. The next couple of years are going to be fun in the hobby, but I digress. My son and I opened our boxes, and keep in mind, these are not thousands of dollars. I have changed my spending habits with my LCS for these Friday openings. I'll buy anything, but the prices went a little nuts. And now, unless it's, a Prism box or, something I really want to buy, $200, $250 is sort of a cap of where I'll go on a box. Cause all right, if I get crap, I'm not going to be that upset. And 9.8 times out of 10, we do get crap. So it's one thing to get crap when you're paying $500 a box. Anyway, Topps Chrome, $185 a hobby box, you're not going to get too killed on. You want to see my auto? So anyway, my son and I opened it. We had fun. We did not get a 1-of-1. We did not get a helix. We did not get any numbered inserts. We did not get anything crazy. We didn't get any fun stuff, you name it. We got an auto, which is why I like to buy the hobby boxes. My son likes to make sure there's an auto. I'm going to get an auto in here. I'm excited. A guaranteed auto. Hobby box is a guaranteed auto. Blast, there's 4 of them. We open and get an auto. All right. Listen, this is opening. So this is no bitter here. You know what you're getting into. So our auto is Weston Wilson. Base Chrome auto, not even a factor, not numbered. Weston Wilson on the Phillies. Not Preston Wilson, who was a relative of Mookie Wilson. Weston Wilson, I think no relation to either Mookie or Preston. So Weston Wilson, he did a nice job, and he put a little number there, 37 on the card. I like that, a little, whole deal. I'm like, all right, 185. Let's look up who Weston Wilson is. Maybe he's one of the, top rookies. Maybe he's somebody, that I haven't heard of yet. And Weston Wilson is a 29-year-old rookie. 29-year-old rookie. He was drafted 8 years ago. He has 6 or 7 career major league hits, including one this season, where he's batting 125. 6 hits. Journeyman minor leaguer. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I'm sure he's fantastic, but that's what we got. Fine. That's the risk you take in opening boxes, right? I'm showing you this. I should probably clip it because I should be like, bang! Look at this. This is what we do here every day. Here's what we do here. Bang! Go get Michael Rubin and show him what we pulled. Woo! Weston Wilson base rookie out of the Topps Chrome. Bang! It's going to be all over Instagram. It's going to make the news. Darren Ravel and Clit Media is going to write a whole news story about me and my base Weston Wilson auto. No, they're not. But here's the real story. My son says, hey, why don't we just break with Mama Breaks? And I said, well, why would you say that, buddy? And he's like, well, look, I went on Instagram and I went on her story and look at all the things that she hit. Now, he didn't say loaded boxes. He doesn't know what that is. He didn't say, Fanatics must be feeding the good stuff to their people, because they're clearly not feeding it to me. And the sad thing is he's right. He's right. If the goal here is to get good cards, we should be breaking with Mama Breaks. Think about that for a second. Because I did. He handed me his phone. He looked at the story, and right off the bat, boom, there's the Griffey Jr. auto that everybody's looking for. Ken Griffey Jr., refractor auto. I saw somebody, I think it was Blez, pulled a black Ken Griffey Jr. auto out of 10, which is amazing because, that's back out of 10. And then you continue to scroll through the stories, and there's a triple auto, and there's Helix, and there's, the Wyatt Langford autos, and there's, of course, a Koufax. I think a Koufax auto out of 25. I mean, those things are rare. There's double digits of the Griffey and the, these throwback autos, the Legends autos. And yeah, it would have been nice if we got one. Pump the brakes for a second. We couldn't have gotten one. Because as I researched it a little bit more, hidden in the fine print is that those Legends autos and some of the rookie exclusive autos are only in the Breakers Delight format, which, as I looked before recording the show on Dave and Adams today, $499 a box. $499. Probably more if you go with a breaker. And this is the goal here, right? See the kids who are going to be the next phase of the hobby. Make sure that what's in front of them are these breakers, the Fanatics breakers. They've even created breakers. People who were not in the hobby 4 or 5 years ago are now the poster children of the space. Because they're getting Breakers Delight boxes that nobody wants to say, hey, let's audit this, and the audit's going to be bad. Fanatics loaded the boxes on purpose. They're not loaded in an illegal or fraudulent way. They are now selling the loaded boxes to the breakers, calling them Breakers Delight boxes, and they have cards that you can only get in those Breakers Delight boxes. They are loaded by comparison to the hobby box that I opened, that I did not have a chance of getting those in. This is not unscrupulous, except for the fact that it's really not advertised anywhere. They show, here's the Griffey, here's the Koufax, here's these great, black and white diamond, mini diamond autographs you can get of the rookies, and they don't say, not in your box, pal. And nothing I said so far is any problem. There's nothing wrong with anything that I've said, as long as they are, vocal about it and public about it and let people know. This is what, look, the Breakers Delight box is 3 times the price of a hobby box. So that's because it has these things in it you can't get anywhere else. And that's fine, right? I mean, first off the line has specific stuff in it. As long as as long as it's not really been publicized, but as long as that's fine. It's not that there's anything wrong with what they're doing, right? But keep in mind why they're doing it. They're trying to funnel everyone towards that platform. This is Fanatics Live, the Fanatics Breakers. This is where you're getting a Breaker's Delight box. This is where they're breaking it for you. This is where you have any shot, let alone a good shot, of getting the cards you want to get. And my son is a perfect example. We should just break with Mama Breaks. Look at all the stuff that she's hitting. Now, I didn't say to him what I'm going to say to you now, which is that defeats the purpose of me throwing away between $200 and $500 every week. Because for me, I would rather open a box and get Weston Wilson, as long as I'm opening that box with my son and spending that time with him, going through the box, collating it, picking out the cards that we might want to grade, which there were none of. There was an LE base card, which he was happy about. Maybe I'll grade that for him and he can keep it or sell it at a show or something. To me, that is why I'm doing this. It's why I started doing this with him over 200 weeks ago. But if his response is going to be, well, we should just break with Mama Breaks because that's where the good cards are, it takes away that touch point that I'm going to my store, I'm buying the box, I'm bringing it home, and I'm spending that half an hour, 20 minutes, whatever it is, with my son, having that moment to open cards, go through the box, have a chance to pull something nice, but more importantly, even if you don't, having the ability to kind of, I don't know, recreate what I had with my dad when I was a kid. I can also tell you, my dad, getting personal here, died very young, very broke, and was a big-time gambler. I'm sure that surprises nobody because most people attracted to this space have gambling in their genes, myself included. So while I have great memories of opening cards, I have some other memories of gambling. a lot of gambling and a lot of losing. And when my son says, hey, let's just go on Fanatics Live and open with Mama Breaks, I ask him an easy question. Well, what player are you looking for, pal? You know, which one do you want to hit? And he's like, well, look, the Sandy Koufax auto. And I'm like, do you want to keep a Sandy Koufax auto? Like, we can go to a show and meet Sandy Koufax. We can get his autograph. You know, I mean, I had his agent on my podcast, spoke to him at the CSA show and, no, I don't want that car. I just want to sell it. It's going to be worth a lot of money. It's a tough spot I'm in because I don't want to make memories with him of him being miserable and opening a hobby box where this is what he will remember. That we got a 29-year-old rookie with 6 major league hits who's played in a handful of games. And I'm sure Weston Wilson is the nicest guy on earth. And I'm not saying anything bad about Weston Wilson, but this is a $1 autograph. So if the memories that I'm making for my son are that I'm not really setting him up to have a chance to get the big card, is this the best way for me to be spending my money? Am I making a good entry for him into the hobby? But more importantly, maybe he doesn't see it the way I do. Maybe he wants to get a good card and sell it. That's not collecting, though. And I think that where we're all being funneled and where the money is being funneled has nothing to do with collecting at all. It's not sustainable. None of these cards that are coming out of this product are anything that anyone really wants to keep long term. And when he says to me, let's go on Fanatics Live and open a box with Mama Breaks, that's going to create another memory too. Here are the two of us on our phone watching the break that we purchased. I might as well just open up the MGM Grand app and spin a roulette wheel with them, or put some money on blackjack and make memories that way, because it is legit the same exact thing. It's gambling. It's fine. I'm sure that's, where the space wants to head, because think about the money in gambling. Think about the billions upon billions of dollars made by the companies that do gambling. And by the way, Fanatics is a gambling company. I'm pretty sure Fanatics Bets tells you all you need to know. Anyway, it's just an interesting, I don't want to call it a dilemma, but it is. It's a dilemma that I have personally. And if you pan the angle out a little bit wider, right? I'm sure it's something that a lot of other people have as well. And there are ways around this, right? Do I have to pivot what I do with my son away from breaking and instead into player collecting, team collecting? Do we have to, now instead on a Friday of opening boxes together, do we have to spend a half an hour on eBay together, scouring listings for a soccer player that he likes, or a basketball player that he wants to root for this year, a rookie? Do I have to now go full on collector side and secondary and just take it right out of the wax? Is there a happy medium? Do I do 1 week on Fanatics Live and 1 week opening a box ourselves and just alternate it? I don't know what the right answer is, but I do know that yesterday's box opening was an eye-opening thing for me, because I am not a breaker, and I am not breaking Breakers Delight boxes at home. I'm opening what is affectionately known as a hobby box. And if the Breakers box is the one that has all the good stuff in it, and the hobby box is loaded with trash, what does that tell you about what Fanatics thinks about the hobby and the people opening hobby boxes? There's no delight for you, collector. There's no delight for you, hobby. The delight is only for the breakers. I'll see you soon.